get your race card? I didn't get my race card. Did you get your race card? Hell no, I didn't get my race card. Did you get your race card? Homeboy, where you get your race card? Did you get your race card? White boy, what is a race card? Please don't believe the hype. Everything in the world ain't black and white. Everybody ain't a stereotype. Just because I look wrong, I'm about to do right. Please don't believe the hype. Everything in the world ain't black and white. Everybody ain't a stereotype. Just because I look wrong, I'm about to do right. Black as midnight or bright as Snow White. You better do me right or I'ma have to take flight. Put you on nice, blast on you twice. If you a zebra, better come out them stripes. Just cause I'm dressed like I'm straight out of jail. Make more money than them white boys at Yale. And got more sense than your president. That college graduate, he can't pay his rent. But don't call me brother, man, unless your ass got my money in your other hand. Pull that black man that white man but see a suit and tie, or still get your ass euthanized. Cause I never got my race card in the mail. Is that the reason why my life's still hard as hell? I've been to jail, just like Martha Stewart. And we both told the judge that we didn't do it. Did you get your race card? Hell no, I didn't get my race card.
What's good, YouTube and family? I hope everybody's doing well today. And I thought I would come back with another live stream highlighting these fork-tongued vipers who seem to be pouring out of the woodwork here more lately than ever, especially since we have who we have sitting on high. And you know, we've seen a lot of this same behavior from folks when Obama was in office too. They were very, very angry that President Obama was elected. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have bumped into a lot of people who confirmed that they're witnessing a lot of reckless behavior from our beloved European neighbors due to Trump being in office. And I got the same type of random backlash from white folks when Obama was elected and reelected. I had random people walk up to me in grocery stores and around town when I was in Chicago. And much like they do when they target you on a personal level, they use that to bait you into a race debate. One example I remember vividly in my mind going back several years, I was in a deli within 2 blocks from my house. I walked down there with my 2 boys, and they were younger, of course, then. That was their favorite deli to go to because they served Italian ice in that particular store, and it was a locally owned store, a family-owned local store, I should say. And they absolutely loved all my children and our dogs. They spoiled us rotten. And these people were from Italy, and they came over many, many years ago, started a little neighborhood grocery store, and it's been around forever. Ever since I was a little girl, I can remember my father taking me into that store on occasion, and we would get that Italian ice. So I carried on that tradition with them. And by now, of course, the original owners, the married couple, their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren are grown now. So they passed it on down through the family. And I'm saying this for a reason. I'm going to tie it all together in this stream. This is going to be quite the lengthy one today because you know how I do. I like to be thorough. And I'm opening up with this story for a reason, to show you how a lot of people live in delusion and very sheltered, you know. And in this day and age of 2018, it's really no excuse to be as ignorant as some people really are, or delusional. Now, we would go in frequently and pick up this Italian ice. So we were enjoying our little treat and sitting in the parking lot on the little bench like we always do, in the shade, just kind of enjoying the summer day. So one of the workers came out. We usually speak, have a little chit chat, crack a joke, and keep it moving. This particular time, I think it was just after the 4th of July, I believe. So he comes out, we speak our normal little exchange, and then all of a sudden it came out the blue. And I was so disappointed because I just didn't bite. I just refused to bite because I have a wonderful rapport even still now. This family keeps in touch with me, and they since adopted us because our families have known each other for a very, very long time. So they watched us grow up. We watched their kids grow up. And actually one of their children has a daughter who has the exact same birthday as me. So we have developed a really tight bond with that family, who happen to be from Italy, which is Europe. So technically, in this ignorant country we call America, they would be white. And I'm saying all this for a reason. Y'all just bear with me, hold my hand, walk with me, because I'm going to point out to you how fork-tongued vipers will poke their head out and expose themselves when you least expect it. That's why you got to stay woke. So this gentleman comes out, we have our exchange, and then all of a sudden he goes, "You think Obama's going to get another term?" I said, "Well, my grandmother taught me a long time ago that when you're among friends and family, and new acquaintances, the most polite thing to do is stay away from 3 lethal subjects: religion, politics, and race or culture." So I'm going to withhold my comments on that. And I'm just going to tell you, it's good to see you, young man, and you have a great day. So I took my children and went home. And I noticed, because we frequented that store, it's right down the street from our home. After that, I saw a very subtle difference in how he communicated with us, especially my children. So one day, one of my boys went down, and I'm standing there at the end of the block, because you can see directly down the street. You can see right to the front door. So I walked halfway. It's about 2 blocks. I walked 1 block, and I stood to watch my baby go down and grab his snack. And he was on the way back, and I noticed he was in tears. I said, "What happened?" And he said, "It seems like my buddy doesn't like me anymore. We always go in there, we have fun, boo, boo, boo." And I said, "Well, that's interesting." So, just like any rational person would, you're concerned, you step to the person in a civilized fashion and see if you can have a conversation to clear the air. So immediately when I stepped in the store with my boys again, the individual was there, and he immediately ran in the back. And I thought that was odd, because usually when we come in, he's the first one to come out of the back and greet us, because, like I said, we have a very close bond with these people, and they own this store. And it's, as I said, a family-owned business. So he went to the back. And I said, So I asked the butcher, another sweet older guy, he was like uncle, we call him Unc. That's how we do in the city. I said, "Uncle, you go get him for me. I just want to talk to him, see what happened. My baby here, he came in and looked like, something happened. So I wanted to see what happened, get both sides of the story and, you know, maybe clear the air. Kids sometimes are sensitive, just like we are. We might be having a bad day. We take something the wrong way and, it really wasn't meant. So Unc couldn't get, our fella to come on back out. And then I noticed after a few months went by, the good fellow just stopped talking to us altogether. And I thought that was really strange. And I mean, it's really shocking. And it comes out of nowhere when people flip on you and there is real no rhyme or reason why. And a lot of people don't want to admit that they are emotionally driven. Their behavior is fueled by their emotions. They don't want to admit it. But we see it every single day, especially when it comes to listening to things that they don't want to hear, like the truth. Okay. Or if you digress and refuse to comment and engage, which is what I did in this situation. I just refused to talk about politics with them because, like I said, very fond of this family, love them very much. They've always been very good to me, and we've been very good to them. That was the sense of community, how I learned to pay it forward as a little girl. Because when I had purchased that home right around the corner from that store, that was one of my dream homes that I used to ride past every day in the historical district in my town, and I would always say, one day I'm going to live in that house. And it looks like a doll house. And I had a thing for doll houses when I was younger. I didn't do dolls, I didn't do dresses, didn't do frilly, but I love doll houses. And so they were very, very surprised and happy to learn that I had purchased that home so close to their store. And they lived literally right behind their store. And they purchased the two homes and turned them both two homes into one. So it's a very beautiful area and it's very tight-knit community. But it's still urban, because it's of the suburbs of Chicago and surrounding areas. So, I was a little disappointed, because I'm like, what? There's nothing that I'm not willing to discuss, to clear the air for peace sake, especially when it concerns my children or anybody's children. And the fact that he didn't want to have a civil conversation for clarity spoke volumes to me. And I just was really thrown at how I started to see people differently when they learn the truth. They learn the truth about themselves, especially if someone else points it out to them. People live in denial, delusion. And there are a lot of fork-tongued people who pretend, and then they come forth and show their true colors later after they hear the truth from an objective point of view. Because it's really not easy to walk in the shoes of a Black person, male or female. And it's really hard for anybody to empathize and see just how difficult it can get from day to day, looking at and witnessing and trying to overlook the subtle, sly, covert tactics that people do, and they don't even realize it themselves until they get caught. Some of them realize it, and then they're more sorry that they got called out than they are sorry for offending the people that they have offended. Now, with me, I have come across this covert type shit more so from white folks than I have from any other culture, because we all have groups of bias, prejudice, bigots, and racists in every culture. Okay. So racism is just not specific to Black and white. However, I see this behavior in more white folks than I have any other culture. combined. You know, and a lot of people don't like the truth, even if they claim not to be racist. They don't like to hear the ugly, butt naked truth of just about how disgusting this type of behavior is, especially when it's forked tongue type folks displaying this type of behavior. And, you know, I don't know if anybody caught my previous little streams about Dear White Woman and my portion of a stream of compulsive liars. You know, this all ties into what I'm going to talk about today. Now, I got a little video clip. I'm going to play portions of it and I'm going to give you my take on it because, you know, many of you who know me intimately know that I study human behavior and I'm working towards a specific goal, you know, in obtaining the certifications that I need to truly be, you know, some help to unfold and unwind the intertwined webs that we suffer through of dysfunction in our culture and just our community in general as people, humans, all of us. But you know me, I look at my own family first. We got to sweep around our own front door and heal ourselves before we can step outside and try to help and heal our neighbor. So I started with me. Then I started working on my immediate pack here and still doing it. It's the ongoing journey. And once I get my act together, then I'll be able to step out strong to help others follow the journey that I did to help heal myself from the woes of coming through this society we call America and how it will chew you up and spit you out if you are not awake and aware. And that's the biggest threat to white supremacy, racism, and the bigots that we see that are lying covertly under the radar, trying to slip under the front door with their hat on. And a couple of them will get in. You know, like I said, I've known this particular family most of my life, and I'm 46 years old. And I think we started frequenting that store when I was about 4. So that's a long time. And I grew to be very, 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 very best friends with, they have many children. I think they have 9 or 10 children. And I think it was one of the middle ones. She's about the same age as I am. We became very good friends, still are to this day. And as a matter of fact, you know, she always will find a way to check up on me. Even if she doesn't have a phone number, email, nothing, she will find me. And I don't know how she does it. And we used to have this little joke back and forth. Her name is Beth. I call her Bethy. She's the sweetest. I'm telling you, I thought my grandmother was sweet until I met Bethy. Okay. This woman is amazing, you know, and she has done so much for that little neighborhood and as well, you know, as just people in general, because running a store, you meet all kind of people. But she will always find me. And for some reason, she must have felt me going through what I'm going through now. And she got my email address from somehow. Maybe she did find, I don't know. But she found me and she checked in with me, linked up with me on Facebook. And I feel like I am right back at home now because talking to her is so very healing. She never forgets anything. She pays close attention, you know, to people. She knows how to read people. She's one of the true empaths that I know and learned from growing up. And, you know, for all the ignorant motherfuckers out there who like to label Black folks racist when we point out racism, this particular person is what we would say a white woman, you know, and she's a very beautiful woman inside and out. So fuck you sideways about that racist shit. But this little clip here, you know, I'm sure a lot of y'all have probably heard it already. I'm going to play a little pieces of it and show you just how subtle they try to present themselves friendly. And then either they wind up taking the role of a victim after you expose them, report them, or check them. And usually they're going out of the way to incite a reaction from you with very subtle behavior that's really difficult to prove if you don't have them captured, recorded audio or video. And I know a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. So listen to this real quick. You know, I'm going to do what a lot of other people be doing. I normally don't do this shit because I don't have time and it's just take up too much energy for me to be fucking talking through clips for free on YouTube. I got bigger things to do, but this time it's important to me personally. So I'm going to take the time out and go ahead and do it. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. A good example of covert racist, the Trojan horse tactic. So this clip is about a young woman who was working as a telemarketer, okay? And she shared a cubicle with, it's a young black sister, shared a cubicle with a young white woman. And they were both telemarketers, both doing the same job, sitting in the same cubicle. And they weren't particularly familiar with each other. They were just co-workers. And this sister had to endure loss of income and being harassed and bullied while trying to earn a living. And this just further proves my point on how white women are almost groomed this way, and they don't even know it. They're sheltered, you know, because of the ignorance of their ancestors, their forefathers, their parents. Is how they are raised, their upbringing. You know, they're conflicted. So check this out real quick.
We started sharing the same cubicle. She started doing things that really, to me, seemed very.
What did she do?
Racist, to be honest, Your Honor.
What did she do?
She brought fried chicken. After the broccoli incident, she started bringing fried chicken day after day from a certain restaurant, Your Honor.
Like
she
Kentucky Fried or what?
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken to be exact.
What's else? Yeah, Popeyes.
She brought she brought Kentucky Fried Chicken, and she would not bring just one for herself, but she would bring two and tell me. She would make the comment like, you know, you like it because you're, you know, being black and everything.
She said, wait a second.
Wait. Being black.
How many times did she bring chicken?
For you. 4 times, Your Honor.
The first time she brought chicken for you, did you eat it?
No, I did not. I actually have a cholesterol problem, Your Honor.
The second time she brought chicken, you didn't eat it?
No, Your Honor. I cannot eat fried chicken.
So why would you continue to bring chicken for her if she would eat it?
Initially, the reason I brought the chicken was just trying to make a peace offering, and that was why I did it a few times.
Wait,
did you bring watermelon for dessert?
Yes, she did, Your Honor. Yes, she did. She definitely did, and she put it right there in the middle. You know you like it. Come on.
It's okay. But let me ask this question. Why did you bring fried chicken?
I like fried chicken.
Right.
It's one of my favorite
Did you tell her you know you like it?
No. I was trying to give her a peace offering, and there's a 2-for-1.
Right.
And so
the first time you bought chicken and she said, I don't eat chicken, why would you bring chicken again?
I didn't bring, well, I had some chicken in there, but mostly for me.
And you actually bought 2 packs of chicken. And
they had some
2 pieces or 3 pieces?
2 pieces.
With a biscuit or not?
With a biscuit.
It was a biscuit, and there was some mashed potatoes in it.
The first time she told you, I don't want chicken, don't bring chicken, why would you bring chicken again?
It was a 2-for-1, and it kept with that, so I wanted to bring the chicken home for myself, and so I just put it there and said, you know, if you'd like anything, any food in here, you can have it.
Okay, but she told me she don't eat chicken.
What's the other food there that
Okay,
she
what
have?
about the third time you bought the chicken?
I was trying to be
She told
polite.
you didn't eat chicken.
And she was very rude about it. Initially, I didn't realize that she
Okay, there we go. Let's stop that right there. You understand? First time, second time, and third time, I don't eat chicken. No, thank you. So my thought would be, you know what? Maybe if she's refusing chicken, maybe I should offer her, is there anything you would like for lunch today? Because I know we've had a rough start. What are your favorite foods? What do you like to eat? And how about I treat you to lunch at your favorite restaurant today, co-worker, and we'll call it squashed. This will be our olive branch, my olive branch to you, because I brought some burnt broccoli. I made you uncomfortable at work, so please accept my, apologies, and let me treat you to your favorite restaurant for lunch today, so we can work together. We can both make this money and do what we got to do to support our lives and our family. No, they continue to antagonize you and push you to the point of losing your temper. This is why I always tell my children, do not give them what they want. Let's go ahead.
I didn't like chicken.
Coming up on Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
You systematically brought in boxes of fried chicken.
You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. We're back with the case of Teresa Williams, who is suing Ramona Molden for harassment.
So, Ms. Williams, you quit your job as
No,
a
Your Honor. This racist, she had these. She had these on the desk when I came in the morning.
What are those?
Cotton branches. I saw them in a day.
Okay. One more time. Okay. You bring in a cotton sprig after you bring in fried chicken and watermelon, after I have already refused and said, no, thank you. You see the victim? You see how she's starting to merge over into the lane of a victim? Well, she was rude about it. Okay. Now, this is where covert racists and fork-tongued vipers start to pretend as if they don't realize how offensive that is in the new millennia. You know the stereotype. Lego.
In our arts and craft store. I thought they were pretty. I did not need anything by them.
Sure.
Where are you from?
I'm from Southern California.
Oh, okay. What was really going on?
She
Do
was.
I look like I was born yesterday? Do I look that way? I know I look good for my age. But do I look like I was born yesterday?
Well, I just thought
All
they were
right,
pretty.
you consistently bringing fried chicken and
I brought fried
two
chicken.
things I like. Okay? But then you bring in cotton. I mean, what were you trying to do?
I was trying to spruce up my side of the cubicle just a little bit. I didn't really have that much new decorations on there. And her side has decorations on it as well.
Don't be it. I don't like people to play with me.
I meant nothing by the cotton branches.
You might
I
have
just
been
thought they were
playing
pretty.
with this 20-something-year-old, but you're not playing with me.
I didn't mean anything.
You
by
are
it.
systematically doing something
I was not.
that looks. Don't argue with me. Because guess what? When you argue with me, you will never win. Okay? Never win. Why didn't you?
Now you see the entitlement here? It's real subtle. It's very subtle. And this is what I have explained to 3 white women that I have been closely connected to over the past several months. The journey of a Black woman and what we have to endure daily is much, much different than a white woman. And anytime I have gotten into these type of discussions with white women, the majority of them get offended when you display objectively to them from your own point of view as a Black person. Okay. Now, I really don't like talking about race and culture, but it is a reality that we have to face in this country and abroad globally. This isn't just in the Americas that this happens. This happens all over the world. Okay. We have to face these things at work, at school, everywhere we go. This happens to somebody, somewhere in the Black nation. Let's go.
Go and talk to your supervisor about
It was
this.
too late.
Your Honor, she had.
Okay, do not say another word. It was too late. Why?
Security was escorting me off because I threw the cotton at her.
So you got escorted out of the job because you threw this
Fired
at
in the
her?
spot.
You should have been bringing a lawsuit against your employer. The $4,800 is the amount of income you lost until you found a new job.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct? And you had worked there for 2 years.
Yes, Your Honor, with nothing wrong. Nothing happened wrong.
Never had anything. And how long had you worked there?
I've worked there for 2.5 years.
Right.
And it isn't true that she's had nothing wrong. I don't know how her code is or anything like that. But she didn't report it.
Why do not argue with me? Because guess what? You go to jail. Because I have the power. I'm not just wearing a robe. I am a judge. I ran for my seat. I got sworn into office. Okay? So don't play with me, little girl. Do not play with me.
It's But those ones say.
Don't say another word.
Oh, see, the judge even had to stop and take out her fan and fan herself just to take a moment and a step back. See, this is what I mean by they can systemically poke at you, poke at the Black woman, and we're supposed to remain calm, cool, collected, and demure, no matter how offended we are, just to appease them because they are sheltered and trained and programmed to live in fear and play the role of a victim whenever they are confronted with their disgusting, demented behavior. Check it out.
I hope they don't have fried chicken for lunch. You systematically brought in boxes of fried chicken. Racist stereotypes. Shut up.
I didn't eat anything.
You systematically brought in watermelon. Stereotypes.
I like watermelon.
You and then the coup de grace was that you brought in a cotton sprig. Okay, not roses, carnations, gardenias, peonies.
Exactly.
But a cotton sprig. I'm ready to work. If I had the jurisdiction to award more than what you were asking for, I would award you a whole lot more than $4,800. And I hope after this, you will be bringing some sort of federal action against your employer for wrongful termination of employment. You're gonna come up against the wrong somebody someday, girl. The wrong.
Okay. Now you see how this young white woman just continued to exercise her entitlement and bicker back and forth with the judge after she had been repeatedly asked not to speak and interrupt. This is the pathology that's common thread among a lot of white women when they practice this type of behavior. And when they're called on it, they're not sorry that they offended you. They are sorry that they got caught and exposed. Let's check out the rest of it. A little bit more to go.
Somebody in the wrong place, and you may not be standing here to talk about it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,800. Good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $4,800.
I'm glad you got what you deserve. The judge saw it my way. I would have still been working there if it wasn't for you.
I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry.
And coming up.
What?
All right. To me, that was a very underwhelming apology and very disingenuous. And I got that same type of
As a public
response
defender, Judge Karen
from
fought for her client's rights. She was in
one of the white women that I mentioned that I was roommates with back in the summer. This particular woman, she is older than me, in her late 50s, closer to 60, who had a felony on her record from stealing from her employer. And she was working on getting the charges reduced. And after I moved into the residence and began, to take my position as third of the rent and expenses, I had some personal belongings sitting in the medicine cabinet that I use daily, my facial products. And everybody that knows me intimately knows I use as many natural products as I can, especially when it's on my face or my body. Okay. So I have been using this particular facial scrub, that you can, it's very pricey. So I buy in bulk. So I had a large quantity of it. And this happened to be the last container that I had, being that we were moving around a lot. So I held on to that so that I could, reorder it. It's really complicated process to get this particular product. And I had just a small amount, and I'm a neat freak. So I put everything back the way I found it, especially my personal stuff. So she goes into the bathroom one day, randomly, out of the blue, yet again. And I go in behind her, and I go in to do my morning ritual to freshen up and get my day started. And I noticed my product was missing. So I'm, after I get finished, what I have to do, I clean up the bathroom behind myself, which they never did. Every time I went behind this white woman, she always had her hair all around, on the floor, on the toilet, in the sink, in the tub, on the shower wall, on the shower curtain. And she was not a good steward of housekeeping. So I mentioned that. And then I noticed as I was changing the waste basket in the bathroom, my little tube of product was in the garbage. So I politely took it out, rinsed it off, sanitized the outside of it. And I came and I asked the two young ladies who threw away my belongings and why. So this particular white woman with the felony, she stated, "Oh, well, that was me. It was in there forever. And I didn't know. I thought it was the other young lady who lived here before you. So I didn't know. So I just threw it away." Now, this is where I have a problem. Because first of all, whether it was there forever or not, it is not your place to put your hands on someone else's belongings and throw them away without asking first. I don't give a fuck if the tube was dry, dehydrated, crackling, falling into a million pieces. If you didn't purchase it, it's not yours. Don't touch it and don't throw it away until you check and verify first with the owner. If you don't know who the owner is, it's only two other adults in this house that are females, myself and the other roommate, who also happens to be a white woman. So why not ask first or leave a note and say, whose is this? It's empty. I'm going to throw it away if the owner doesn't claim it. That's how I was raised. I don't know about anybody else out there. So she said, it was me, my bad. Okay. I said, well, please, just don't touch my belongings, and if you're not sure whose it is, then all you have to do is ask. And, in my mind, I'm thinking I shouldn't have to train a grown woman on how to keep her hands off of other people's belongings, whether they're empty or not. I'm an adult. I know how to dispose of my empties when necessary. I don't need your help. And this ties into many of the other things that I've spoke on previously about the entitlement of white women and how they don't understand or see themselves as others do when they start their patronizing, insulting manner of communicating with you, whether it's verbally or non-verbally. They say a lot about themselves, especially when after you call them out. So she was like, okay, it won't happen again. All right, no problem. Everything cool. We go on about our day. No big deal. So I noticed another time, it was a different type of product that I had. And, sometimes you have, like, for example, you have a roll of toilet paper and it's only about, maybe 12 feet left on there. Not much. Very, very small roll. Some people throw that away. Some people don't. I feel like this. If I'm purchasing it and I'm putting money in to the supplies here, then if it's near empty or not, don't throw it away because somebody could use it. You don't know who it belongs to. So she took something else and she said, well, same thing. Well, I just saw a couple left in there, so I just threw it away. I said it was still something in that container, though. and you didn't ask to see who it belonged to as we agreed previously. See, they don't like being called out, you know. And then when you jog their memory to say you did say that you would keep your hands off of my belongings, you don't have a reason to purchase this type of product if you follow me. Okay. These are women over 40, all right, who no longer have a use for this particular type of female product, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm trying not to be too graphic. I'm working on my mouth. But you don't even have a reason to purchase this particular female product, and yet you are still placing your hands on my personal things and throwing them away. So I asked her, why do you do that? She couldn't provide an answer that made sense. All she could do was sit there, stone-faced, looking stupid. So I kept my composure. You know, I said, you know, it is what it is. Please don't touch my stuff. Okay? This is not college. We're not in the Mean Girls Club. We are all grown adult women. And if I purchase something, if I leave an empty container in my area with my belongings, I don't give a fuck if it only has one item in that container. It is not your place to go into my personal space and dispose of anything that you see there. You understand? So I'm asking you again, please keep your hands off my belongings. Okay. So then, of course, behind my back, she goes to the other roommate who happens to be white, and she starts talking shit, mad shit. And the other roommate came back and we had another discussion, and she told me everything that was said about me behind my back. Of course, I was rude. I was insensitive. I didn't accept her apology. I was short. I was aggressive, and so on. Now, these are all things that I can own about myself because I know I can be one rude motherfucker when I want to or need to. Just like any other white woman, it's rude for you to touch other people's things and throw them away without checking with them first. Just like it's rude for you to say you're sorry it won't happen again, and then you continue to do the same thing over and over again. And a lot of times these type of people, they like to minimize your position and inflate their position again in the place and the shoes of a victim. They always put that victim hat on when you get right up in their face with their inappropriate, uninvited behavior. You see the entitlement? So of course, she goes on to try to further justify touching my belongings. You know, I don't fuck with none of their stuff. And before I even put it away, I'll say, is this yours? I'm going to place it on the shelf with the rest of your belongings. I'm just cleaning up the bathroom again because you left hair in the sink and I'd like to wash my face. So I'm going to sanitize the sink so that I can wash my face. And I saw this sitting there. Just want to let you know I placed it there because, you know, these same type of people, they assume that most or all Black people steal or are in some way covert narcissistic psychopaths like them, because you know a lot of white folks have a morbid sense of humor. They like to fuck with your food and your personal hygiene products and, you know, do really dysfunctional, abusive, dangerous shit, and they pass it off as humor. Y'all following me? So we had the discussion again. We confirmed again that this won't happen again. I said, if it does, you know, I'm not going to be as polite as I was the first time. I'm very direct. And a lot of white women can't handle that either, because you ask them a direct question, they always have to skirt around it and answer a question that was not asked. That's not on the table for discussion. They always add extra, you know, pieces of narrative that have nothing to do with the subject matter that you're talking about. So that's what happened the second go round. We had all kind of things injected into the conversation that were irrelevant, and she still refused to accept ownership of her poor choice in touching my belongings. And you can ask them politely multiple times. You can ask them why. This is the reason why I use that a lot. Why did you do it? To make the person think and try to develop the muscle of empathy, because a lot of white women lack that. They're good actors at it, but they don't really have the genuine mechanism of empathy to be able to place themselves in other shoes, to see objectively how it feels to be randomly targeted for no rhyme or reason, okay? No logical reason. So she couldn't explain herself, of course. And like I said, I moved on, logged into work, did what I had to do, get off work. Second time, find out, and they snitch on each other too, just as quick as they will you. Covert racist. Don't even know it. So the third time it happened, it was something real petty, so I didn't really say anything. And the other white roommate came and told me again everything that this particular felonious white woman said. So we sat down again, 3 of us, and we had another discussion. I said, well, anything that I have to say to you, whether I dislike it or whether it's pleasant or not, I can come directly to you. I'm an adult. I can say what I have to say. We can have the discussion. I'll be more than happy to listen, just like I would expect you to listen, and we can straighten it out. And if not, we just agree to disagree and move on. I said, but I have to live here just like you. It's a temporary thing. And while we all are living here together, we need to try to live harmoniously as possible. And these small little hiccups in our journey are really a distraction to what the bigger picture is, for all of us to gain our resources and get back up on our feet, put our lives back together so we can move forward self-sufficiently and independently, of each other in our own homes, and so forth and so forth. That's why you have roommates, to help you save a little money. But you're costing me more money when you throw away my belongings and you don't even know if it isn't empty there or it's not your place to decide if it should be disposed of. I don't know if anybody followed me. So I guess she was a little shocked because no one had ever stepped to her that way. And I just told her, I said, I'm an adult and you can discuss anything with me. I have a very open mind. I said, what I will not tolerate is bullshit. Okay, if you want to toy with my intellect and sensibilities, it's not going to be pleasant for you. Okay, because just much like Judge Karen stated, 99% of the time you're going to lose, because logic and truth outweighs any lie or delusion from anybody, including an entitled white woman. So I got another disingenuous apology. And again, I charge it to the game and move on. Okay. So I can be petty, but I didn't have time to be petty with that. So, and for a lot of white women like this, they're very shocked when a Black woman can own her flaws, because they don't like to own their own. They really don't like being told the truth. Okay. And let me say again, if this don't apply to you as a white woman, let it fly. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. And I said that, been saying that since 2009. And this is one big reason why I stay away from stuff like this on the regular, because I know I see it and I've had my confirmation given to me over the years. So I really don't need to have to sit down and really have these discussions unless it's with a younger sister or brother that has to walk behind me in my path. I'm paving the way for our younger sisters and brothers who are or might be unsuspecting of it or caught off guard. Because when it catches you off guard and you're not quite experienced and have all the tools and how to deal with this in a civilized fashion, your emotions get the best of you. And unfortunately, this young woman, her emotions got the best of her. And of course, we always get the worst end of the situation. She was fired and escorted off the premises, and I wish I was there to be able to cuff this sister and say, do not give her what she wants. That's exactly what she wanted. For whatever reason, she wanted this sister to get fired. She wanted to see her lose her temper. And a lot of times, entitled white women who are covert racists like this, that's their form of entertainment. White folks, a lot of them look at us as they're jesters. Let me see if I can Coke the Sleeping Bear, because it's just so exciting and entertaining when a Black person loses their temper. Look at it. It just proves our point that they just have no self-control. And under stressful situations, they can't handle themselves in a polite, civilized manner. This is why they do this. We all know it. It's nothing new. But in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 18, 2021, I don't care what year this was. We are in a new millennia. And what a lot of white women don't realize is this is sometimes daily for a Black woman. We have to deal with it at work. We have to deal with it with our children at school. And we have to arm our children with knowledge and understanding before they even leave kindergarten to understand exactly what you will be facing from ignorant motherfuckers like this. Okay? So a fourth incident happened with the felonious older white woman roommate, and she invented a lie straight out the crack of her ass. Okay? She stated that I excessively wash laundry, which is increasing the water bill in the home that we shared, which was another blatant lie. Because when I first arrived at this location, we didn't have many articles of clothing. We acquired those down the line from our storage unit. Okay? And we didn't really have much to wash. So we had about, 2-3 weeks of clothing between the three of us, my two boys and myself. And normally I wash once a week, if that, and it's hot as hell in the summer. So you have to shower frequently and change clothes frequently. So I planned for that on purpose because we're sharing a home and to conserve space and be space efficient. And so we're going to just take about 3-4 weeks of clothes with us so that we don't have to wash so much. And then it'll be a little bit more energy efficient when it comes to laundry. And then the majority of the time, I really don't like going to the laundromat, but just to save any further discrepancies, we would wash at the laundromat every blue moon, just to break up the monotony. So nobody would have anything to gripe about because these are two real petty bitches that I was living with. So I learned of this lie, confronted her again. I said, why would you lie on me like that? And I'm just curious, because I have not disrespected you. I haven't touched your belongings. I haven't offended you in any way by your own admission. So why would you invent a lie just to have something to talk about, knowing what you're saying is not true? So again, she further went on down the line to justify her lie and say, well, it was just an exaggeration of the truth. I said, that's what a lie is. It's an exaggeration of the truth. If you alter the truth in any way, you're exaggerating the truth. If you inflate it, downplay it, to add or subtract to the truth, it is no longer the goddamn truth. Okay? For me, that's black and white. No pun intended. You either tell the fucking truth or you don't. Simple as that. You are either a liar or you're not. You can't be kind of a liar. Just like you can't be kind of pregnant or kind of sick. Okay? You either fucked up and sick in the head, sick in the body, or you're not. Okay? So she kept repeating that same mantra. It was just an exaggeration of the truth. So I said, you know what? I said, a lie is a lie no matter how you slice it or whose mouth it comes out of. Okay? So I don't appreciate being lied on. And I said the majority of my childhood and adult life, I have always had some random white woman who I have no idea who she is, who for whatever reason feels threatened by me to the point where she has to invent an issue. Phantom issues. That's another huge behavior that white women do. They invent shit to have a beef about so that they can further justify their delusional, sheltered mind state that we are barbarians. We are uncivilized heathens, and all black women have temper and attitude issues. See? Yet, You living in the same house with me and you insist you're not racist. So if it's not about race, then what is it? What is motivating you to do these things that are unnecessary as an adult woman who claims to have her shit together? With grown children and grandchildren. Just curious. So she tried to flip it back on me and said, well, why is it always about race with you? I said, why are you always walking in delusion? You know? For me, it's not always about race because we've sat at this counter in this kitchen and talked about subject matter from A to Z and never touched on anything about race. So if it's always about race, there you go, exaggerating again. See, you're lying again, baby. If it was always about race with me, then how come you sat with me and had extended conversation about music, about food, about travel, about my job, about your job, about the third roommate's job, about our children, about our grandchildren, about our pets that we had in the past, about our classmates from high school? If it's always about race with me, how come you're the one that's behaving like a racist? Because if it's not my skin color that bothers you, what is it about me that's bothering you? Because I have a job at that point, I had two. So I didn't really have a lot of time for social time. And I was very polite and cordial when we did interact in the common areas of the house. And then my family interacted with her, vice versa. And according to both of them white lying bitches, they fell in love with my children too. And everywhere we go, people fall in love with them because they are very well raised, very well-rounded young men and young women. Everybody tells me that no matter where we go. And they look and say, I wanted to meet their mama because I knew this is amazing to me. How respectful and such a beautiful person your young man is, or your woman is, whatever. We fall in love. People fall in love with us everywhere we go. Okay. So if it is not about race, what is it? Now, might I add, not only was I paying my portion of the expenses, I was also taking up the slack for this particular felonious white woman who lied on me several times because she could not get a decent job based on her past record. And here we go again. Is this a reverse stereotype? Because I also had her expose herself on the implications of me possibly being a criminal and having a criminal record along with my two boys. The stereotype lives strong, okay? She asked, well, have any of your boys ever had to go through this? I said, what would make you think they did? And why would you ask me that question? You're living with another white woman who both her sons have been in the penal system. Why don't you get advice from her on parole and probation and how that works? Because I've never been never been arrested, never had to do probation or serve any time. So why would you just automatically assume that I would know about these things? If it's not about race, then what is it? And then you've lived here longer than I have with the third roommate. You should know that her offspring have extended contact with law enforcement in their past. So why didn't you have this conversation with her? Why you wait to talk to me about it? If it's not about race, then what is it? This is the same felonious older white woman who sat in my face and admitted that she thought all black men had a big phallus. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with, people. Yet, these are the same people who deem themselves superior over the black woman and the black man. But we talk about women now, so I'm not leaving y'all out, brother. I'm just talking about the white women right now because we got to deal with these motherfuckers too. So she couldn't answer that question. If it's not about race, then what is it? If I haven't offended you, we both agree there. I asked her, have I offended you in any way? Nope. Have I said anything to you that hurt your feelings to make you want to retaliate? No. Have I touched something of yours or moved something of yours, your property, and where you feel like you have to return the favor? No. So what is motivating you to do these things? What is motivating your behavior? At 50 something, close to 60 years old, you having that short-sightedness into yourself to not even be cognizant of the fact that you are a covert fork-tongued viper. That speaks volumes about your character and nothing about me and mine. Because my family doesn't act like that. Before my boys touch anything of mine or their sister, they say, Mom, is this yours? It's empty. Can I throw it away? Yeah, you can throw that away. We don't need it. You know, and I'm also a life hack recycler too. I'm that tree hugger. I'll have a container, and if it works for another purpose, I'll use it for that. And then I have a way to organize that type of stuff, you know. So they like to fish around and be obstructionists. They see that, okay, I have limited resources right now. I'm working my way back up to self-sufficiency. So let us see how much difficulty we can cause for her, how many distractions we can make for her, just to make her uncomfortable, if nothing else. Are y'all following me? So I began to see the pattern develop, you know, and I usually don't say anything until I let it happen about 3 times. And then you see, you know, after 3 times is happening and you've had a discussion and you've confronted the issue and they agree, you come to an agreement on it. Now you know it's purposeful. Okay. I just want to put that on out there, y'all. Pay attention. Stay woke, because it's subtle. Just like this young woman in this video had to endure. That subtle behavior they do to try to provoke you to anger, then in turn feel they have power over you. He who controls your emotions always wins. He who angers you controls you. This is what I've taught many young folks across the board when they're shocked into another dimension of reality that we have to face as Black women in this society globally. It's not just here. And frankly, I think it is more sick and twisted than those among us who will come right out and just show you. I have more respect for that type of racist who is overt than I do with a covert racist, because they're cowardly. So fast forward to today, these particular 2 white women that I shared a home with have since left and abandoned the lease. Fight or flight, right? Why? Because I learned that not only was I the only responsible, financially responsible person here, I was the only honest person here. And when we paid our rent to the leaseholder, which was the third Ruben, she wasn't dispersing the finances properly. So I was helping dig her out of debt. And we wound up learning that the rent and many of the utilities hadn't been paid for several months and weeks. Okay. And then we also learned that the original leaseholder who acquired us as roommates didn't even acquire this particular house on her own. She had a Black man, because she loved sleeping around with Black men, off a tag. Okay. And suckered in a fool who paid her first month's and last month's and security for her. She moved in. She had a minimum wage job. And then she, like the fork-tongued viper she is, started her self-saboteur journey to where it pushed this man to move out, take his name off the lease, and leave her here to hold the bag and take care of it on her own. And I had the luck of the draw, and I was able to have a lovely conversation with this particular brother. And in listening to both accounts of how things unfolded, I just got my confirmation. Let's just say that way. He was a very cordial, very polished gentleman. And he was very proud of his Christian faith. He's one of the very few Christians, real Christians, that I have bumped into in a long time. You know, and I'm no one to question anybody's faith, but I see that he is pure-hearted. And I see that he had every intention on doing the right thing by this white bitch who dogged him out and forced him to leave. It was very dirty, did him very, very dirty. And then when I learned about her account of things, of course, she was the victim. I don't have to tell you. Hello, everything was his fault. It was because of him. He was crazy. He was abusive. He did this to me. He did that to me. Yada, 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 yada. Y'all know the drill. Just like this little young girl here on Judge Karen. I'm now the victim somehow because I have been exposed, and my viper-like behavior no longer is thinly veiled with kindness and friendship. Now everybody sees me for who I really am. Y'all following me? So there's another particular, the third white woman that I came in contact with, I just spoke about on my previous stream from a few days ago, come bearing the olive branch of friendship. And you notice too, they do this too. When something is happening to them, you can be going through the similar, almost same identical situation. And whatever's going on in their life is horrible. But when you describe similar type of situation that you go through, or you've been through, or you're experiencing, they say that you're playing the victim. You're being a victim. Now, let me show you exactly how vipers do. I'm going to read a series of text messages to you from this third white woman who was allegedly presenting herself as a friend, and just how ungrateful and unempathetic many of them are after you say something to them that they don't like. You friends, everything's cool, everything's great, and they love you to pieces up until you say something they don't like or agree with and you won't back down. Then they take anything and everything they can to try to use it against you as leverage to justify how they have talked all out the side of their neck and out of turn, and how they should feel entitled to do so and you not have a response. Okay. Now this is the slow motherfucker that got in her feelings, you know, because they need that validation. If you're talking about the struggles of a black woman, they have got to chime in and make it known that this don't just happen to black women. Well, hunty, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, okay? But I don't know any white women where a black woman brought cotton, watermelon, and chicken to work repeatedly just to see if they can provoke a response. Now, show me one and I'll eat my words, okay? Now, this particular woman came to me, like I said, answered my suggestion for transportation. And she offered to help us move from the county we were living in to another county because it was just more, it was just a better environment, put it like that. We were in a rural setting and I wanted to move more toward a more populated industrious setting. more so closer to what I'm used to in the city. So we came to Jacksonville. It's a military town, it's a lot more going on than it is over there in Green Acres where we was before, in the town of Mayberry. One stop light, Horseshoe Town. So it was by her suggestion, she offered to bring us here. Is it okay? And in the midst of that, I was already battling the system of social services and public services, right? And within that system, you still have rights, okay? And a lot of times when confronted by social service workers, they like to intimidate, harass and use bully tactics to force you to cooperate. And when you exercise your constitutional right to refuse services, if they have no warrant signed by a judge, they got to kick rocks, okay? But as we know, I'm living in the Confederate South, and the very laws and constitution and documents they write up that's supposed to protect the people, they can make up the rules as they go along. He who pushes the pen make the rules. We all know that as Black folks, if you will. So we were having a discussion, about the situation. And this third white woman who doesn't know she's racist accused me of playing the victim and the race card all the time. When it was once dealing with this situation that I'm dealing with now legally with the system, one time, this is the only thing that I pointed out to her that I am experiencing racism with. She says I play the victim too much for her liking. Yet, when I go through our previous text messages, white woman number 3 was going through almost the exact same thing I am with her grandchildren, though, with social services in that hick-ass town that I was living in down there in Grover, North Kakalaka. Now, we helped each other. See, I can tell the truth. She helped me and I helped her. However, just to illustrate how ungrateful they are, especially when they get mad at you and you don't do or say what you want them to do for their comfort level, that's when the viper come out. Fork tongue, flip flop, fence riding motherfuckers. You see, I'm just too militant to live down here in the South because they will lock my ass up every other day because they don't like the truth, and that's what they do. Well, you said something that I didn't like, maybe uncomfortable, so we're going to figure out a way how to get your ass, lock you up, and teach you a lesson for hurting my feelings. You understand? This is how they operate. This ain't nothing new. So, we're talking about here I'm sorry, let me go back up. And we're talking about what we've been going through. Very similar, okay? Now, she's going on and on about how they won't let her see her grandson. He's in the custody of social services, right? Going on and on, whining about it. Now, she did provide some information about lawyers for my situation, okay? And in the midst of all of that, and after everything we went through, I said we need to get together on this so that we both can go up against this agency and further expose their poor track record of how they like to try to violate people's rights and their constitutional freedoms by what they do, okay? Now, if I'm such a fucking racist, why would I want to pair up with another mother who experiences the same thing. She's white. I don't give a fuck if she polka dotted. These particular people have a track record of breaking the law and violating people's rights and ripping their families to shreds, abusing their authority, and they constantly have gotten away with it until recently. Okay? Now, I'm the one who showed her the poor track record of it. She's the one who told me that so many people in this county are afraid of this agency. So who's the victim? I'm saying, let's get these motherfuckers. And she like, oh, we afraid of them. So we go on to talk about, okay, we go on to talk about, I had accidentally forgot an item, very important item with vital record documents in it. Social Security card, birth certificate for one of my boys. I have a billfold that I keep all that stuff in, locked in a firebox when I'm in, at home. We were packing to move, so I had to put it in the items we were carrying on with us as we were driving. So I must have dropped it. It fell out my pocket or whatever. So she states, on my birthday now, I'll mail that package out as soon as I have spare change. I don't have gas or cigarettes at the moment. I said, I'm going to send you something. She said, thank you. She talked to her baby that she was going, her son was on something else. So she said, I talked to my son. We talked about that. I told her, send him my love. And then she said, sending something? I said, money, silly. I said, I wanted us to have a little special treat. We can have a little toast, glass of wine together, talk on the phone. Hey, it's my birthday. Turn it up a little bit. Kind of break up the monotony of the stress of what we both were going through. And then she asked about the boys. How are the Twin Towers? I said, they're good. One of them is having a moment. Y'all know. Those that know me intimately know when you're dealing with people in autism, they have their moments whenever the fuck they want to. We just got to walk on through it with them. So she says, tell them Miss Bobby love them. She said, I worked it out with my cards now so you can send it through Facebook Messenger. I said, I sure will. No problem. Blah, blah, blah. And she said, a couple of days later, on September 20th, I said, I didn't forget about the package I was supposed to send you. I've been so busy working and taking care of my business. She was like, no problem. At that time, we were still expecting the arrival of my grandson. So I told her, I said, I've been busy, trying to be supportive to my daughter from a distance. The boys are here with me, of course. We're just trying to get things on track and get this ball going in the right direction. So then she goes on, she asked me what I've been up to. And I told her, I said, we just got to keep pressing forward, not getting any answers on what I need from these people, answering my questions. And then she went on to start ranting about how crazy it is, how her daughter is strung out, chasing her husband that's strung out. And her daughter was mad at her because she didn't come back to pick up. Her mama didn't come pick her back up, and she went and made 3 to 4 blank trips, and the girl was chasing her junkie husband around Cleveland County, and she can't see her grandson, just on and on and on and on. But this is the same white woman who said, I'm playing the victim because I'm pointing out the systemic racism of the same agency that we both are dealing with, who have violated both our families' rights. Okay? But I'm the victim. I play the victim. My answer was, oh my God, this particular agency is off the chain. This is insane. Then a few days later, she said, I'm sorry. Well, no, same day. I'm sorry. September 20th. Sorry, I'm just now getting back to you. This day has been crazy as hell. First, that shit with this agency and what they said. Then my daughter flips out on me. Da 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 da. I said, I'm so sorry. She said, I'm emotionally spent. I said, I know, me too. So in the midst of all this bullshit, I'm trying to help her just like she helping me. The company I work for was doing a ramp up. They were hiring, doing a mass hiring. And you have to take assessment tests, typing tests, computer aptitude tests, real simple shit for folk that actually, you know, you could get this particular job just with a high school diploma, you know. And if you have any advanced experience with this particular company that I work for, they promote you quickly. You know, if you have any extra training certificates, experience like that, they promote you very quickly. They're a very, very, very good company, Fortune 500 company. So I said, why don't, you know, you check it out? They're doing a ramp up. I had just started a few months before that. I said, so they still hiring, get in where you fit in. To start was $12.75. Okay. To start. That's when through the door. Full benefits, the whole nine. 401k, boom, boom, boom. So this particular bitch, she was worried about the typing test. She said, I can't type. I said, okay, well, here's a little link. You know, you can do some typing drills, do a typing test. It'll teach you, you know, how to do the basics of typing, practice for a little bit, you know, get it down for a couple days, play with it a little bit. If you know the basics yourself, do this little 3-minute video. It'll show you and it gets you right on track. If you can type and read, you can do this job. And if you have experience, you know how to use a smartphone, you got it made. So she was worried about it, walked her through it. She didn't pass the assessment. 2 days later, you know, she asked me. I didn't tell her. I did it as a surprise. This is the type of friend I am because I know it's hard for everybody. And if I don't have, say, money, I'm going to try to do something to help you get some money. Or if I do have money, nobody likes to ask for loans and could you help me to do that? It's a dignity thing. So her phone had been cut off several times since I've known her. Now, I'm in the midst of my crazy. She's in the midst of her crazy. And just quiet as it's kept, I paid her phone bill for her. You know, just so she can have a phone to stay in contact with her daughter that's strung out. She said, did you pay my phone bill? Because some angel paid it this morning and I have no idea who. Then she makes sure she remind me, please don't forget to do what I asked you to do about that test. And then she says, good morning. This is 3 texts back to back in less than 24 hours. So I come back and I say, what I've been through. And she goes, what? Oh my God, call me. I'm extremely worried about you. All of a sudden, she's so worried now. Then the very next day, oh, I hate to ask, but can you still do that favor for me? I said, I'll do it tonight. I said, this will keep me distracted. So I won't worry about what I'm going through. So then she comes bearing gifts again. I have attorney information for you. Thank you. She provides information. These are the 2 that she would recommend and so on. And it just goes on and on and on. You know, they're very, very one-sided and selfish. And throughout this whole time, from June, when we first arrived here after she helped us, so graciously help us get here, all the way up to present day, she only texts me 3 or 4 times to truly check in and see how I was doing. It was all about her. Now, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have known about this particular work at home position. Because she was hustling, trying to drive for Uber in a rural environment, wasn't making no money. She could barely keep gas in her car, couldn't keep her utilities on, couldn't keep her phone on, you know. But motherfuckers talk about how broke Black women are and how much we beg and how all of us is on welfare, living on Section 8 and shit. Now, I'm fighting one step away from homelessness, my damn self, getting my pieces of my life put back together after a devastating hurricane in Fayetteville came through, Hurricane Matthew, and damn near washed us off into the fucking ocean. Okay? But I'm still trying to help enhance somebody else's life while I'm working on my own. I'm not talking about this for anybody to come go, oh yeah, Queen, you good people. I'm not looking for that. I'm just showing you the difference in how white women take reality and twist it, and how they live in a delusion. And then whenever they get checked by a sister like me, they play the victim and project their own pathology onto you, Black woman, when they don't like what they hear. So as long as you on the one with them, y'all ace, boom, coon. But the minute you step out of line of what they think you should be doing, thinking, saying, feeling, it's all over with then. You ain't shit. Okay? So we go on talking about the little assessment and everything. And then it skips down to September 27th. This is the third time she checked in without me initiating it. She asked me how I'm doing. And I explained to her a little bit what I was going through. Can't get them to call me back either. Found the number of the people I need to talk to. None of them has returned my call. Oh, I'm sorry, that was her. She explained to me that she couldn't get the same agency going through the same shit with the same agency. And I said, yep, they love playing games. And then she's going on, my heart can't take this, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm so sorry. Sent her a little hug, little thing. My nerves are shot. Haven't got out of bed in 3 days. I need my baby and some this and some that. No, why? I said, well, your babies need you calm. She said, I know. I just can't get a grip. Too much on me. Between the babies, my daughter, my son, and everything, I'm overwhelmed. I said, we'll get through this. She said, one day at a time. I said, I got your back. She said, I got yours. So then I got some good news. Sat later on the same day. So when I get a break from work, I got some good news for you. She was like, I need good news. What is it? So I told her. So we went on back and forth, talking about, what's going to happen, what the good news is, elaborated on that for a quick minute. And we started talking about more in detail of, the situation on my end. And she changed her tune. I explained to her what went down. And she's like, get them, woman. Because I said, I'm going to sue the fuck out of these people. I'm going to come out victorious and do it by the book. And I'm going to be a household name over there in Mayberry. Okay. Now, I explained in my previous stream that I made a Facebook post about how white supremacy has affected the self-esteem of many Black women to make themselves feel as if they have to settle for a piece of shit man versus not having a man. Because we always get shamed with that. You must not have no man. That's why you ain't shit, Black bitch. Right? So I posted that on my Facebook wall a couple months ago. She scrolls by. She gets pissed. And my homegirl, Ambi, on YouTube, she can see, she was a witness to it. So if I'm lying, Ambi will vouch for it. So this third white bitch comes by that post and she puts on there, for you to be so educated, you sure do talk about race a lot. Now, mind you, I've been working 2 jobs. I really hadn't been on Facebook, YouTube, or anything since before June of 2017. Okay? Hadn't posted shit, hadn't streamed nothing, hadn't did shit because I was busy taking care of real life shit. Now, you see how they overinflate the facts and like to put a spin on it and put words in your mouth and change up the narrative and then try to shoot low pot shots to make it seem like you're the one that's delusional. So then she felt the need that she had to inbox me and bring up my son and then say she's ended the friendship and the connection. Me, if I don't like what I see on Facebook, I either keep scrolling or I block the motherfucker. I don't need to make a announcement of how I'm going to cut your ass off because that's extra work and extra energy that you don't fucking deserve from me no more. See? Just cut your ass off and move on. And if you have any questions about why I cut you off, if you can contact me, I might tell you. 9 times out of 10, though, I'm not. Because silence is way more powerful than a grand presentation, especially if you're supposed to be cutting the damn cord. You understand? So my question is, why you so bothered, boo-boo? About a post that has nothing to do with you. And again, injecting more information into the situation that have nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. Well, it's not just specific to Black women. No shit. But on this post, that's what I'm discussing. Not talking about white women, polka dotted women, purple women, orange women, striped women, plaid women. I'm talking about how it affects Black women. Nothing to do with you. Stay in your goddamn lane. You feel me? Now, this particular item she has in mind, of course, came into play because she didn't like what the fuck I said on my Facebook page. So she decided, fuck you. I'm not going to send you your shit. Y'all following me? As if I don't already know how to work around this type of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I just looked in the chat room. Mean Black dude. I love you too, bro, if you're still listening. Joker of Black YouTube. Hey, you. Good to see you. Darnice Nicole. Peace to you too, baby. Good to see y'all. I'm sorry. I was over here in my own little thing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So now she doesn't want to return my belongings because we fell out here on the goddamn Facebook. Do you see how weak these motherfuckers are? See? As soon as they hear something they don't like, automatically they're going to either throw you under the bus, use whatever they have as leverage to continue to maintain control over you and the situation, to push you to a point in which you lose it and put their ass to sleep. You understand? That's why I tell my babies, biological and otherwise, don't give them what they want. Use chess pieces, not checkers. Okay? Chess, not checkers. You got to beat them intellectually because the majority of them are intellectually inferior. That's been proven. Common sense, logic, and rational thinking does not exist among people like this. So you have to intellectualize them to get beyond their obstructionary, emotionally driven behavior. They don't do it just to Black women. They do it to Black men too. I watched it here with my own 2 eyes dealing with these 2 white roommates that I had. One of them was afraid of Black men. The other one liked to have sex with them all the time to prove that she wasn't racist. See, that's how they do. And this is why I don't like talking about it openly like this and among mixed company, because people are so goddamn sensitive. They don't like to hear the truth. You know, white women like that, they want you to always sing them a lullaby and tell them how great they are and how beautiful they are and how sexy they are and how desirable they are and how much they mean to you and how your life would never be the same without them in it. And then when they see that you don't need their ass to breathe, oh, who the fuck do you think you are? You just a Black bitch. What you mean don't touch your shit? If I'm mad at you, I'll throw away your shit because you said something I don't like. So I'm going to this bathroom and find something a little bit, you know, that'll just work your nerve. If I throw this expensive ass shit away, that'll get this bitch. Then when she jump on me, I can call the police, and then it'll be two of us bitches in here with felonies. I won't be the only miserable motherfucker with a felony while I'm still denying it after I've been arrested, tried, and convicted of a felony. I'm still in denial, telling everybody that I didn't do it. Huh? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But y'all tell me what you think. Because what I see is a covert, fork-tongued viper. That's what the fuck I see. Because nobody who is truly presenting themselves as a friend to you would A, lie for no reason, create phantom issues, and then be emotionally driven to behave inappropriately, immorally, or otherwise just because you say something they don't like. Now, I have plenty of friends. I don't need no more. I really don't need no more. But I'm a people person and I love people. And I could say, yeah, I fuck women. Let's talk about mean black dude shit. Me and him have had butt horns, lock horns. And we talked about it, ironed it on out, and it's over with. Ain't been brought up since. That's a true friend. And I know I said a whole lot of shit to him that he didn't like. Just like he said a whole lot of shit to me I didn't like. But we didn't take it off the subject at hand. And neither one of us hit below the belt. Well, I did once. I did once, and I had to retract the comment because it was fucked up what I said. And I had to apologize for that because I let my anger get the best of me. See, I'm honest to a fault sometimes. And I can admit it and own it. And it don't hurt. It's not difficult for me to do. Okay? I know when I fuck up, I fucked up. I was wrong. That was me. That was all me. I take my responsibility for what I did. But I won't do is take responsibility for a insecure, weak bitch who is a covert racist, who can't admit her own wrongdoing. And when she going through the exact same situation a black woman is, and she can't see the difference in our journey and how this same agency is dealing with her on a different level than they're dealing with me, simply because I am black and I challenged, questioned, and refused their authority or what they perceive as authority over me. A lot of white people think they're entitled to talk to you any old kind of way and you not have a response, retort, or even feel some kind of way about it. Because this third bitch blatantly lied to the police about having my property just so she could continue this ongoing struggle of control and power, because for whatever reason, she feels like she has none. And that was her way of trying to step up here with the queen and try to make it seem like she's equal, created equal as me. Okay? When she know goddamn good and well, intellectually or otherwise, she ain't no match for me. Threat. A conscious, militant, strong, resilient black woman is a threat to these type of bitches. Okay? Viper bitches. Watch them, y'all. Watch them. I talk to my daughter all the time. She went through the same thing in Fayetteville at her job. Hazing her, patronizing her, flipping her schedule around without telling her, all kind of violations, EEOC on down the line. Okay? But you step up and stand up and speak out, they're going to threaten your job, they're going to threaten your children, they're going to threaten you, they're going to threaten your mama, they're going to threaten everything because you taking their power. They're taking their power. And this is something that they just don't see, and a lot of them don't want to see. They don't want to see. Why? Because this is their cloak. This is their covering. This is the veil that I always talk about being snatched the fuck off. And they don't like that. Nobody like being exposed if you ain't shit, right? Nobody likes being exposed. Especially when you know you're on some bullshit. And with all the things we got going on just amongst our own people, this is something that we always have to teach and polish our children up, letting them know how ugly and disgusting and demented and dysfunctional this shit is. Because I had my first encounter with racism when I was in preschool, and I didn't know what the fuck was happening to me. I was just a baby. You know, when I think back and reflect on it, I know it hurt my feelings. And I know I didn't understand why this particular little white girl was so goddamn mean. All I knew was this little bitch was mean. And I wanted her to leave me the fuck alone. And I have always had throughout my life, short 5-6 years, I've always had long hair. And my hair always never really quite looked like the rest of the little chocolate girls in my class. You know, it was a little bit curlier, you know, instead of kinky. It was a different kind of texture. And, you know, back then, you know, it was difficult to understand how to care for our hair. So a lot of little Black girls didn't have long hair because our mothers and you know, elders just didn't know how to take care of it. Because we were told it was ugly and nappy and undesirable and unattractive. So we just would iron it out, and it keep damaging, keep breaking off. But I had an old-fashioned shaman witch doctor working on my hair. One of my best friend's mother was a cosmetician. We used to call them kitchen-ticians. She was licensed and she worked out of the basement of her home. And she made bank. And she used to use the old-fashioned cholesterol, beer, eggs, mayonnaise, heat cap, the hot iron pressing comb that you put inside the stove, you know, that old-fashioned damn porcelain damn stove to put the hot comb in. That fucking heat be so hot off the comb, yeah, her hand would get hot and burn your scalp because her hands would be working with that hot grease to press it out and make it bone straight without chemicals. And her daughter was the same age as mine, as me, and they called us Pocahontas 1 and 2 because we both had hair down past our asses because her mother was a true cosmetologist. Listen to what I'm telling you now. So I've been natural the majority of my life. Same 5 years. I cut all my hair off like Halle Berry. Put a little wave thing in there. What do you call them? Wave S-curl, whatever the fuck. And it didn't work because it was still bushy and curly as fuck. It didn't do no different because my hair is just really coarse and thick. So I can't do shit to it. But a little bit of heat, you know, now I'm locked, so it don't even fucking matter. But anyway, I always had natural hair. It's always been beyond my shoulders. And I always got hated on, not from Black girls, from white girls. Okay? All right? And in preschool, this little white girl used to always call me buckwheat. Nappy-headed buckwheat. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't look like buckwheat. Don't act like buckwheat. Damn sure don't sound like buckwheat. I didn't get it. Then I would tell my mom, this girl keeps picking on me. Then I told my grandmother, same thing. Talk to my uncles, talk to my older siblings as I started growing up and understanding. Then it was explained to me that this little girl got some racist motherfucking parents. That's a racial slur. Had no idea what the fuck it was at 4 or 5 preschool. But that was my first memorable interaction with racism. You see how they start them off young, hunty. This ain't nothing new. And they grow up to be like these 3 white bitches that I just interacted with, of whom I just described to you. I had to place them in a nice, polite, militant check. Had to hood check them. You understand? And it's so sad because I went on to middle school and I was one of 5 Black students in the entire institution. I went to a Catholic school. Okay? And I was one of 5 in a K through 8th grade school. One of 5 Black people. Okay? And I outperformed everybody in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They weren't with the ABC grading system. They were on the number grading system. So a 1 was an F, 2 was a D. You feel me? C was a 3, a 4 was an A. A B, A in there somewhere. It was 1 through 5, some whatever. But they was numbers. All right. And these were college preparatory classes that we were taking in middle school. Okay. So not only was they teaching us a faith that I personally didn't subscribe to, because I was waking up at 12 years old. I used to get kicked out of Sunday school when we were in an African Methodist Episcopal church. See, my grandmother was Methodist Episcopal on the Black side. And my grandfather, her husband, was Blackfoot Indian. So he adopted her faith because she was more Americanized and more Westernized than he was. And they had 4 children. So, and back then when they was raising my mama and her siblings, we ain't had much of a choice. Okay. But my grandfather was the one who instilled, my maternal grandfather was the one who instilled this militancy in me that I have now. Way back here. So in middle school, when I encountered the little white boy who called me a filthy nigger because I would not, you know how you take the brown paper bag and make a book cover with it? Because I would not do his book cover with the brown paper bag from Jewel Osco. He called me a filthy nigger, see. And instead of getting up and knocking his teeth down his goddamn throat, I gave him a history lesson on the word nigger. And it was so profound for my age and the knowledge I had of my own ancestors. The teacher not only reprimanded me, I got a detention because I made that little white boy cry without even touching him. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this was back in the early 80s, hunty. Way back there. Now, if the same behavior then matches the behavior of people today in 2018, then baby, we ain't the goddamn victims. It's you playing victim. Okay? Because just like this woman in this video who sued this racist bitch for what the fuck she did, she got the worst end of the stick prior to this case because she got fired from her job for having a legitimate response to being antagonized at work. You understand? At work. We can't even go to work and make a living in peace. And we don't know if this young woman had children or somebody she had to support other than herself. And it really don't even fucking matter. I mean, it makes it worse if she had children that this bitch caused her to lose her job for throwing a cotton sprig at her, which she should have threw her fists at her head. But that would have made her no better than the racist bitch. See? Don't give them what they want. See, that's what the white girl wanted, was for the black chick to drag her ass all up and through that cubicle and make her eat that fucking cotton. See, then our sister would have been in prison then. I don't know if anybody with me. And it really don't matter because y'all gonna watch the shit anyway. But if it's the same now as it was from the 80s, from the 70s, from the 60s, from the 50s, why they not ever gonna change? That's why we have to change and continue to evolve. That's why solidarity is very important above unity. And we have to clearly define those terms. Because you see the solidarity that I just showed you amongst the two white bitches that I was sharing this house with. They hopped up and both jumped ship. Hello. And now it's all on me. And guess what? Everything from the past was forgiven. And I don't have to do shit but start from scratch, just as if I had just moved in. Boom. You see? When they thought they was leaving us for dead and abandoning me and leaving me with holding the bag, they really in turn sabotaged their own steps moving forward. That's what they did. So, honey, if I'm the victim by single-handedly riding out Hurricane Matthew, finding myself homeless because of it, with 2 children and a dog, managed to keep us all off the damn street, fed every fucking day, 3 meals, 3 hots, and a cot, out of the homeless shelter, and then moved 600 and something miles in a half circle from Fayetteville up to Grover, back down around to Jacksonville. If that make me a victim for calling out the truth, bitch, then so be it. I'm one powerful motherfucking victim to make you run like the bitch coward ass motherfucker you are. Because I'm still here. I'm still grinding. I'm still doing me after all the obstacles that have been thrown in front of me, purposeful or otherwise. Sometimes life just happens. You can't avoid certain shit like a fucking hurricane. Okay. And then other things can be avoided, like a fork-tongued, viping bitch who don't want to hear the truth about her own self and her own fucking fellow members of her own culture. You know, just like another video documentary I was watching about an English or British white woman back in the 50s and the 40s when it was illegal to marry interracially. All right. She said, I'm not racist. I don't have a racist bone in my body, but I would never approve of my child marrying a different culture, a black man. My daughter better not marry no black man. That's what she said. You see how conflicted they are? So I'm going to go ahead and scoot on out of here because I've been on here for a while. But I just wanted to put that down and throw it out there in the atmosphere again, just as a good, strong reminder to my brothers and sisters alike. Cuff our babies and teach them. You got to point out these subtle behaviors in these races now, because it is illegal to jump up and lynch us now. Huh? They can't do the overt shit that they used to do. Now it's covert because they're cowards and they're full of shit. And we have to play chess with them and not checkers because they play dirty. The minute you do or say something I don't like, just like when Trayvon Martin got the best of George Zimmerman and began to clean his clock. And like they say on the West Coast, my Crip brother said, he got that fade, okay? He walked his fucking dog. He faded that motherfucker up real good. So he had to shoot him in his chest to keep from getting his ass whooped. You understand? A baby. And Lord have mercy, look what the goddamn wind blew in. Dude. This another crazy nigga here. Fusion Entertainment. Yeah. You know, I'm not no punk. Never have been. You know, I had a strong black father, still do. You know, what is this? I want to say a good 8 years out of remission from colon cancer twice. All right. Kicked cancer's motherfucking ass. Okay. My daddy taught me with this, gave me this mouth, Bobby Green, Bobby Carter, whoever the fuck you are, bitch. My father gave me this mouth. Okay, that's another thing. They like to try to tell you what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, because they don't like it. But my dad was a militant motherfucker. He worked for the government. He was in the Navy, and he made sure he checked every cracker that stepped out of line. That's how he used to put it. And see, Bobby, I don't have to say it behind closed doors, because I'll tell you to your face what you are. All right? And again, let me remind all y'all white folks who like to minimize this covert shit that y'all people do. We live in this black skin every fucking day. All right. We wake up black. We go to sleep black. When we take a shower, we black. When we eat, we black. When we go to work, we black. So don't you think we know the difference between a racist motherfucker and one who ain't? For eons, y'all been trying to gaslight the fuck out of black folks. I don't know. Racism don't exist. I'm not racist. I have black friends. I married somebody that was black. I'm not racist. You could be racist and don't even know it. But you can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. If you really don't want to be racist, then you need to learn how to accept the shit that you do that defines the fact that you are racist. It's real simple. If you can't accept it, then don't fucking bring it up and don't get mad when we point it out. Because we don't have to take that shit no more. Okay? I know I'm not going to take it. Period. Because that's how I was raised. And anytime I want to discuss the dysfunctional ills we are suffering under because of racism, I will discuss it. And I'm not here to make you feel fucking comfortable just because you want to chime in and be a white apologist. Okay, that don't fucking change shit. All right? I'm just here to tell you. That don't make me want to trust you no more. That don't make me want to be no more civil with you. I'm just going to tell you the truth to your face. All right? I don't have to go behind closed doors and talk about crackers and white people and trailer trash. Because if that's what you are, you're going to be that in the open, or whether we behind closed doors talk about that's what the fuck you are. So I don't have to hide what I say about a racist white bitch, because I can tell you to your face. Okay? And it's going to be World War 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you reach out and touch one of me or mine because you don't like me calling you a racist cracker to your face. Okay? I don't give a fuck. All right? So I hope I got that real clear. You know, it's a young man that's close friends with my son, going through the same thing at work with his white boss. Okay, because he's a young man, he's about 18, 19 years old. I cuffed him, even though we still getting back up on our feet. You know how I do. I love the babies. Brought him and his brother in with us. We getting down, tribing it up. We over here in the powwow section, getting our shit together here. My babies is holding their mama down. Okay, so I did something right raising these racist black babies, huh? So I told him the same thing. Don't give him what he wants. He wants you to go back up there to work and put your fists through his face because he's a coward. And he can't take himself out. He's too much of a coward to kill himself. And he's a miserable motherfucker, even though he owns that franchise and he raking in money by the fist loads. But he's still a miserable bitch because he always is fucking with his black employee. They do that for their own sick entertainment. Okay? You don't think he know the difference? Subtle, covert racism, fork-tongued vipers. We got to watch them. You know? And despite everything that has transpired, I have still mad respect for the fact that Fusion Entertainment will say openly, I don't fuck with white women. That's just my choice. But that make him racist. How that? But it is what it is, y'all. So I'm going to get the hell for real, for real. I'm out of here. I got to go feed myself and my tribe over here. Go make some more goddamn hunty. And yeah, comment down there. Go on, say something. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you whatever. Share your experiences with me. Holla. I mean, you know, and if you need a reading, we still out here now. Okay, we still grinding. All right. I still work for my paper now. So hit me up, empathangie@gmail.com for your reading if you wish. And do you like enjoy the day? Okay. Enjoy the day. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Solidarity. Black power. My eye reloaded, goddammit. I don't have to take your shit. I don't care if I'm on your turf. I don't care if you think this is your world. God damn it, this is my motherfucking house. I got 6 generations of Blackfoot Indian on a family tree that died on North Carolina soil. They had property. They had businesses. They had fucking vehicle. They had all kind of shit flowing up and through here. And a lot of the Fayetteville, Charlotte, and surrounding areas is sacred ritual grounds. All right. Where the European settlers came in and murdered my people for no fucking reason. They cut the babies out of our bellies, hung us upside down, and made a spectacle of us. That's where the term picnic comes from. Okay? So don't ever motherfucking get it twisted. I know who I am. I don't have to put other cultures down to be proud of this red, copper, Blackfoot, curly ass, kinky haired setup I got going on. I'm proud, always have been proud. Okay. My people never glorified blonde hair. Okay. We didn't want blue eyes and light skin. We love who the fuck we are over here. All right. I have never been jealous of a white bitch. Never wanted to be a white bitch. Never was curious about a fucking white bitch, what she go through, because my people showed me how rich my culture is. The original people. Y'all didn't discover shit because we was already here. Okay? We was already here. when you got lost on the way to Asia and stumbled upon Plymouth Rock and fucked up that fucking coast, okay? I already knew about that before I knew about a white bitch, all right? So the next stupid lost nigga that say some dumb shit to me with 36-inch locks, okay, and have never had no fucking problem with my nappiness, okay? Fuck you. Don't get upset when I turn you into a victim too, all right? Because I'm just not having it no more. Like I said, diplomacy is out the door with this shit. Because we got so much other shit to do than sit up and have to entertain and coddle a covert, fork-tongued, viping-ass motherfucker. All right, and I done already bumped into 3 who tried to infiltrate and further disrupt my life and cause all kind of obstruction for absolutely no fucking reason other than the fact of how I look and what I say and how militant I am and the force that comes behind how I roll. You ain't never gonna change me. And the more you try to oppress this black bitch, the more militant I'm gonna get and the more chess pieces I'm putting on the board, and I'm gonna come snatch your fucking queen. Okay? So y'all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm out. One love, one unity, solidarity, black power, black pride. Sisters, we need to stop this fucking fighting and stand up because our brothers really need us and our babies need us even more. Hotep, I'm out.